Girls with their $300 of specific beauty products. Guys with the same bar of soap for their body, face, and hair. Fact check true. It's Saturday. I'm Akorn. Welcome back to Gen X and Millennial Memes. Hit that like and subscribe, and let's get into today's show, starting with this week's pop quiz. What 1984 fantasy film starred Jim Henson's creations alongside a young Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie? If you think you know, drop it down in the comments and stay tuned because we'll have the answer later on in the show. What's the best way to clean this pan? That pan's clean. I have to agree. And if it's not clean enough, then just put a piece of parchment paper on it. John Cena is slowly turning into Ernest. You have to admit, he is starting to resemble him. Nothing will remind you that you're out of shape like dragging a deer. That is true, especially depending on how far you gotta go. They're still pretty heavy, even with two guys pulling it. What a predator sees after chasing me for 15 seconds. When you overhear some family secrets, and now things start to add up. That is true. How many of you guys have experienced this? Me hiding from my family after I steal the deviled eggs from the table. That's just too many. I'll usually eat a couple, but that's enough for me. I don't understand how I've seen some people eat like a dozen of them. How parachute companies feel after realizing that it's impossible for them to get bad reviews. Well, maybe not directly from the customer, but they'll still have all the rest of the people in the industry scrutinizing them very closely. Went outside today. It was cold and there were people. 0 stars. Do not recommend. Well, it has been cold here lately, but I don't see too many people out here, which is a good thing. I came across this and I just thought it was funny. Okay, I cheated in school, but I did it the hard way, without AI. Cheating before AI required a level of effort that you ended up learning something by default. They're not entirely wrong. Even if you straight up plagiarized a book, you still had to at least sift through the information. Today, they just get on the internet and ask ChatGPT to write it for them. And I can almost guarantee that there's somewhere out there's probably another AI system that you could copy that into to humanize it. You have to walk through this to save your best friend. What do you do? I'd probably go to Walmart and buy a "My Condolences" card, but that's probably easier for me to say than most, at least these days. Yeah, wood paneling never goes out of style, and I have another viewer-submitted image in here somewhere that proves this. I can't remember where I came across this video at, but could you just imagine what the reaction would be if this aired today?
Well? You're a police officer. I recognize the traditional accoutrements.
He was saying you'll have no trouble explaining it.
My friend is obviously Chinese. I see you've noticed the ears. They're actually easy to explain.
Perhaps the unfortunate accident I had as a child.
The unfortunate accident he had as a child. He caught his head in a mechanical rice picker. But fortunately, there was an American missionary living close by who was actually a skilled plastic surgeon in civilian life.
One day you're young, and the next you're sleeping like this. That is true sometimes. And yet, come that night, I'll probably have a very hard time sleeping at all. In 1993, a man named James Scott intentionally damaged a levee, causing a massive flood of the Mississippi River to delay his wife's return home so he could party with his friends. I'm not saying he's right, but I understand. I'm not even gonna ask how one man was able to damage a levee that's on the Mississippi River to be able to cause that big of a flood, let alone his reasoning. OCD people, you have 4 eggs remaining. Which is correct? The only correct answer is A. Anything else is wrong, even though all the other ones are equally distributed for weight. A is still the correct one though. I use sarcasm at work because punching someone in their stupid face is frowned upon by management. Today, my son asked what the T in T-shirt stands for. I did not have an answer. I never thought about it. Help us out, folks. Well, originally, T-shirts were just a white undershirt, something you'd wear under a dress shirt or whatever. However, as far as the name is concerned, my understanding of it has always been that the 2 short sleeves makes the top part of the T, and the body of the shirt makes the long stick part of the T. Do you guys have a better explanation? We are your local supplier of thingamajiggers, whatchamacallit, doohickeys, and doodads. Don't forget gizmos and doodlemafloppers. What other ones do you guys remember?
All right, folks, let's see the next item up for bid. It's D's nuts.
That moment when you realize that you are your family's Cousin Eddie. Coming back to wood paneling, some Gen Xer has gone and done it. They went to the dark side and bought a Cybertruck. They did improve its looks though with that wood paneling wrap, at least as much as you're gonna improve the looks of a Cybertruck. Daniel Stern left Hollywood to raise cattle and live a quiet farm life, saying he'd only return for one thing, a true Home Alone sequel with Macaulay Culkin. I remember back some time ago that I saw a short video of him showing some of the sculpture work and stuff that he's done too. Talk about some dollar store Chinese knockoff toys here. This one's got a little bit of everything. You got RoboCop, Star Wars, Terminator, and now Iron Man. Here's a video clip that I came across of Bill Murray being interviewed about some things that happened on the set of Groundhog's Day.
Were you actually bitten twice by a groundhog during shooting of that film and had to get a rabies shot?
I'm not flipping you off, but that right there, that nodule there, that's from the groundhog.
I wasn't sure if that was something they were just throwing in to spice up the tour.
No, that's real. He got me back to back 2 days in a row. And the second day I was cheating, or I thought I was being smart. And I put some fisherman's gloves, like steel gloves on, underneath the gloves I was wearing. His teeth went right through the steel.
Wow.
Yeah, their teeth are about that long. Yeah, I got upset with the animal wrangler. I said, who the hell trained this gopher? You know, self-righteous actor stuff. Who in the hell trained this gopher? You know, with real rage, you know. I am not leaving my trailer. And so the two of them, they were like a guy and gal couple, and they look at each other with this. I said, what? Well, he's wild. Wild? What do you mean wild? Well, we caught him just over that way, over there by that field. We caught him there like 2 weeks ago. So I was driving the car with this, letting the animal drive. So, you know, you get what you pay for.
Sometimes I'd like to drop my kids off in 1985 just to see how long they make it. Yeah, Too bad there isn't a way to send the current younger generations back to the 80s and require them to spend at least 5 years there. There might be fewer of them returning, but at least the ones that made it back would be a lot better off for it. When I was getting content together for today's show, I happened to come across this, and I just thought it was funny. 1 large pizza, triple pepperoni, extra cheese, banana peppers, light jalapeno, half chicken, half mushrooms, half caramelized onions, half olives, light sauce. Customer request. Bro, yes, I know this looks insane, and you're probably like, who is this dude? I'm the dude who has a very pregnant wife. I'm done questioning what she wants. I'm scared of her, and honestly, you should be too. I promise this is the order. Thank you and Godspeed. Today's pop quiz question was, what 1984 fantasy film starred Jim Henson's creations alongside a young Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie? The answer is The Labyrinth. When your wife says, we should think of something nice to do with that little space above the door. Looks like a good plan to me. To the person that did this paint job on the back of this truck, thanks for messing with my mind. That is fairly impressive, actually. If you were born before 1992, which is about 90+% of the viewers on my channel, you are now older than Bruce Willis was in Die Hard. You know you're getting old when you watch Home Alone and wonder how much their mortgage is. One thing's for sure, it was a whole lot less than today.
Mr. Jones and Mr. Krempler were neighbors. They each had $3,000. With his money, Mr. Jones bought himself a $3,000 car. With his money, Mr. Krempler bought himself a new refrigerator, a new range, a new washer, a new dryer, a record player, 2 new television sets, and a brand new Volkswagen. Now Mr. Jones is faced with that age-old problem, keeping up with the Kremplers.
When your sober friend agrees to drive you to Taco Bell at 1 a.m. Today, in 1987, your school served you this for lunch, and you were excited about it. Yeah, because it was the best lunch that they had, and a whole lot better than the lunches that schools has today from things that I've heard. If you watch Jaws backwards, it is a heartwarming story about a shark who gives arms and legs to disabled people. Well, that'd be one perspective. MacGyver facepalm. Nothing is impossible unless you see him do this. I thought I'd throw this one in there, just in case some of you guys need an eye test. Society won't heal until we bring back colorful, transparent technology. Yeah, that mostly only gets sold to prisons these days. I'm going to end today's show with this article that I came across earlier this week, and I think I cut off the first paragraphs because there was a bunch of advertisements in between them. But basically, this woman told her sons to go pick up their toys, I think it was, and the 5-year-old got mad, took a dry erase marker, and wrote this on his bedroom door. And I want to read this one paragraph of the mother talking here. I was very upset at the time. It hasn't been the first time I've had them write on walls, doors, counters, and probably other things. However, this was the first time it was something negative directed toward me. But I was most upset because it's something we've been through numerous times, and since I live in an apartment, I definitely don't want to have to pay damages. So, not only did he do this, but it's happened multiple times in the past. So this article must be about what they should do in order to stop this kid from doing this again, right? Wrong. It was mostly about how she was asking people on social media what was the best way to remove the marker from the door so she didn't have to repaint it. Now, using 91% or higher rubbing alcohol is probably about as good as you're gonna do to remove this, but they'll still most likely have to repaint it though, depending on what kind of paint is currently on the door. However, the point that should have been made is not how to fix the door, but how to fix this from ever happening again. And we all know exactly how to fix that. I guarantee you, he wouldn't do it again. But this right here is just one small example of how kids today grow up with no respect for anyone because they've never had to face any consequences for their actions. A final note before I go, just for those who don't already know, for some time now, I've always been ending the show with a final video at the very end. There's been some comments from people who didn't realize this, because most people click off the video as soon as the outro image like this one here appears. But if you do want to see these, I'll just call them end credit clips, just stick around for a few more seconds. Having said that, this does bring us to the end of today's show. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe, and please share the videos if you'd like to see this channel continue, because YouTube certainly hasn't been trying. With that said, I'll see you guys back here on tomorrow's show. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this weekend. This is Akorn, over and out.
Attention customers, I have Brian here. He told his wife this morning that he had to go help his friend Matt put in a French drain today. The first problem Brian has is he doesn't have a friend named Matt. The second problem is his wife is now insisting that Matt come over for dinner. Brian is offering, how much you offering? Brian is offering $100 cash to any man that's willing to be called Matt for about an hour. He also says you'll get free food and beer. If interested, please come up to customer service. Thank you. Oh, one last thing. Matt needs to be able to walk with a little bit of a limp. Brian says he'll cover all the details on the way to dinner.